What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. When it comes to League, it's always been really surprising to me just how many throws actually occur in the game. I mean, if we take a look at an average solo queue game, there's almost always a couple if not more significant throws that take place every single game across all levels of skill. And there's a couple of reasons why this happens. Also, just as a heads up, when this video goes live, I'll be streaming, so if you want to check it out, there's a link in the description. Anyways, the first reason is that when players play League of Legends and get a small lead, they're very focused on snowballing, and once they pick up a bigger lead, get the snowball rolling, they start to feel like they're in a spot where their lead is big enough, and when that happens, they start to get relaxed and stop trying either as hard or as smartly to increase their lead. And League of Legends is a game that takes so much mental focus and thought to acquire that initial lead in the first place that it's very easy to relapse and let up your focus and get comfortable and to some extent get arrogant. And so, okay, you outplayed your opponents to get a lead, but if you start playing just a tiny bit worse in solo queue, it's very possible that just a small dip in your play suddenly makes your opponents the better team and you start getting outplayed and you start throwing. And the next aspect is that when players get ahead, they start to get really greedy or really ambitious in their decision making in order to make plays that are maybe a little bit more fun. When players feel like they are far enough ahead, they often start making these plays that are not very smart and not really good for their game state, but are super flashy and are usually end up either being pretty fun or pretty funny. Sure, it might be a funny play to dive that 0-6 Caitlyn through 3 turrets, and you definitely had fun with that play, but giving her the shutdown gold plus assist plus XP ends up being a byproduct of that line of play. And lastly, in solo queue, a major throw really puts everyone on tilt, and after just 1 or 2 throws, even if the game is totally even, or even if you're only just a little bit behind, people are very quick to give up because they feel like in losing their lead, they lost their chance of the game. So tilting is a huge part of what makes those throws meaningful and makes multiple throws happen throughout a game. And since throwing is honestly just pretty easy to do, making sure that you stay at the top of your game is really huge. The game isn't over until the Nexus dies, and that goes both ways. You need to play your best until the very last second to avoid throwing, and not that many actually play with that type of mindset. Shot calling and telling your team to group and focus goes a long way to stopping your team from getting complacent and making sure that you personally never let up your play until the very end of the game will do a lot to help you stop throwing.